My bad about that. Zoom decided to crash on me, kicked me out randomly. Started a whole new, so now got to start a whole new stream. Uh, don't know what that was about. I think it's just because Zoom wants to do an update and I didn't do it yet. So let me just make sure that anybody watching that one can get the rest of it too. Because yikes, that was not intended. Participants. Let's get some bishops up in here. Well, so yeah, sorry about that, y'all. Hey, welcome back, y'all. Sorry about that. Just blowing up my phone while this is happening. Ooh, sorry about that, y'all. So there is a good chance that the oh man. That new order died here. And so it'll be interesting to see which quirks actually dissipated and which ones are still functional.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
All right. So
double bless you.
Oh, double bless.
Hey.
Prepare for trouble and make it double.
We love to see it. How you doing, Bishop Turner?
I'm doing good. Yo, I actually don't have long today. I got some family shit I gotta do, but I'm here right now.
It's okay. We can buff this out in an hour. Really, I was really gonna give topics to talk about to extend this shit. Honestly.
Yeah. So like, we don't have as many people this week anyway. So just go ahead and give y'all thoughts on the chapter real quick.
Yeah. Peace, you go first because I gotta. I gotta look it over one more time because I only read it once.
All right. Honestly, you already know every chapter I give 10 out of 10. But in actual, I like it for the masses in general. This is easily a 7 out of 10 chapter for y'all. Your regular masses in general niggas. It's an easy like 7 out of 10. There's not too much you can really have an issue with. I mean, this is better for the kids. You know, this is better for everybody at this time. I thought Shigaraki would have moved like this, but there's more stuff at play, and that's once again what happens when you get tunnel vision. You get too like one-sided on one thing. There's like multiple aspects at play. So Shigaraki can't be stopped by anybody else. But there's also the whole Vestas shit we got to work out and do this and the other. So there's that to add on to too. And more so to that, you should really be glad the kids have 1 week. So like, you should really be glad because now there's all that time y'all was bitching and crying about, oh, well, what about it? They didn't get this conversation. This Ochako and Deku, this is fucking All Might and that shit. That it's like, it's like, all right, bro. Now they actually have time to prep up for this like final battle, what they think will be the final battle, but really they finna get their ass beat. You know what I'm saying? They finna get washed. So now this gives everybody Horikoshi some more leeway to like, all right, we're gonna prep up, we're gonna prepare, we're gonna have these final conversations before people start getting taken out and dusted and this, that, and the other. So then there's no wiggle room for like, oh, we didn't get to see the resolution to this or this character arc, this and the other. Because think about it. Had Shigaraki made his move now, a lot of niggas just would have been dead. He just round everybody up in the same day, like, yo, we just gonna fucking take everything. It would just went real south and real bad for like everybody. Then you wouldn't have had Tokiyami talking to Hawks fucking finally. Probably one last conversation, Shoto and Endeavor, and then the conversation All Might, Deku finally wrapping up, and that whole Deku introspection stuff y'all want is gonna come. So it's just like, it's really good that they got this little bit of time left. I mean, it's not gonna really do shit, but give them time for the characters to close out a lot of things they need to talk about before shit goes downhill and all down south. But yeah, all the way through solid. Me and Tarnish also been talking about this lately. People like worry about, oh, it's Tenko. We gonna see him and it's gonna bring him back. Well, no, Tenko also accepts and knows what he did to his family. You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason that whole chapter 270 when he was dead, he kind of already made amends to like everything he had did. And when he acknowledged a hero, you know, there's nothing. This Shigaraki is not Dabi. There's nothing wrong with like fucking, you know, acknowledging the Shigaraki already acknowledged Racer as a cool hero. He already called a nigga cool before, so it's like there's nothing wrong with him.
Several times.
He actually needs to acknowledge Deku as a hero, a true hero. But he's not going to. That doesn't mean it's going to come at the cost of his character. You can have one and the other. There's plenty of anime rivalries that accept.
Honestly, bro, I've thought about it, bro, for a long time. Like this panel of Tenko saying Midoriya, and like I've come to the conclusion, honestly, that even if Deku saves Tenko, Shigaraki is still gonna be around because Shigaraki is who he is because of Tenko. Like he remembers everything Tenko went through. That's his drive and motivation to destroy society. Like it's not like he's ignoring Tenko or forgot who he is. It's just another side of him, like a deeper consciousness that he just awakened in NBA. Like he forgot being Tenko Shimura until NBA. So I feel like that's why this consciousness is even here in the first place, because it just came back.
The other thing that I'll say is that Tenko, if you remember, he said like heart is power. So the reality is that as long as Shigaraki is disconnected from Tenko, he's still not at 100% anyway. That's why when we saw Shigaraki and he like performed at his best, he consistently was thinking about also his family.
And he brought up his father's words. He quoted him.
Mm-hmm. When they said he didn't have an ideology, he straight up said, like, my dad told me this, and it's true. You heroes hurt your families to save strangers.
And this is written all over the entire story. Shit, the reason we here is because niggas heroes hurt their families. Because Nana gave up Kotaro. Like literally, like
that's the reason Nana gave up Kotaro because Endeavor beat Shoto and then neglected the other kids.
That's what I mean. Like Tomura Shigaraki is like an adult with clarity now. Like after NBA, he's thought about his past. He's thought about what he wants to do because of it. Like he has not forgotten Tenko. So that's why even if Deku saves Tenko, it's still not no Shigaraki's a good guy, redemption arc, oh, they're going to team up against All For One. It's not going to be nothing like that. It's just going to be all right, you were the hero I needed back then. But, you know, it is what it is now. Deku told him, like, yo, after the whole thing happened with Gran Torino, he's like, I won't forgive you. Sugar said, I won't forgive anyone. He meant that shit.
And then y'all keep forgetting a double layer onto that. He really don't know about Twice still. And anything this nigga Kohei holds off on that should have been dealt with before, there's a reason why it was held off on top of that. You think he really gonna let go?
Think about how Toga felt after Twice died.
Like she went
in no rage. It was yo, aren't y'all supposed to save people? Was Jin not a person? You know what I mean? Like come on now. All right, so Walken's here.
Oh, what up, Walken's?
Hey.
Nigga, the big champ got 5 belts, but 1 ring. Yeah.
I actually do have 5 belts. 1, 2, 3. 4 of them are toys though, but we won't talk about that.
Well, hey, listen, the niggas don't know. The masses don't know. The masses don't know that.
You know, it's the meaning behind them.
You're the world champion. You're the non-racist Hulk Hogan. It's all good.
What a good chapter. Can I just say I am glad that the other countries are not coming now? Because I knew as soon as Casey was gonna go down, those other countries are gonna be like, yeah, nah, fuck that. They're on their own.
Prior towards your own safety.
And you know what? I'm gonna have to run this back real quick. Niggas keep
Yeah,
clowning.
but wait, before you run it back, I have to go.
What? That
So I'm
fast?
glad. I told y'all, I was like,
Yeah.
yo, I don't know, man.
Let him get his
But
piece
I
off.
basically like the main thing I wanted to talk about was the Tenko stuff. So I'm glad I got that off anyway. But another thing I wanted to talk about real quick is what the kids are doing at the end of the chapter. I'm pretty sure they're about to either do local security, they're gonna train, or they're gonna do a Deku Black Part 2 with the class this time. Cause they have a whole week. So I'm like, what are they gonna really do to prepare? Like they can't just train at Gym Gamma. And Bakugo got his winter outfit on. So I'm like, he gonna be sweating more. It's gonna be lit. Deku gonna get his new costume. And like these pilots and this data they got too, I'm kind of nervous about that too. Cause like what data did they really get out of that battle? Or how's that gonna play into the fight really? But that's all I got.
All right.
You know, I'm gonna be listening. I'm gonna be listening to the stream, even though I'm not here. So
All right.
be careful what y'all say.
All right, so now the bitch ass tarnish is gone. No.
All right, but you about to go?
Yeah, so what I was gonna say was that whatever, like, because I saw some people ask, like, is this actually gonna go to the end? Are we gonna be done with it? What I kind of see is something similar to a World Heroes mission raid where they like how. Wait, did you see the movie at East?
Nah, you might as well just go ahead. Tarnish low-key spoiled me on that blackout scene with the trigger. If you know,
All I really wanted to say was that it opened up with them doing like a raid on a facility.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the black suits thing, because they told me about that. Yeah.
And so I can kind of see this going like when they go to do the raid, but because of how much has been invested in Shigaraki, I could see it being to a point where they go do this raid and effectively they're like, okay, no, we have to let them come in, do all this stuff. And instead of it being like no one in an empty raid, it's going to end up being all for one there. And he's going to try to like fight them just to make sure that the Tomura body reaches completion. So, because I don't think it was ever going to be a situation where, because like red tape and legality has always been a common discussion within My Hero anyway, and like how they have to follow certain rules. Remember during the Hosu City, they almost got in trouble and they literally lied about who captured and defeated Stain just to keep the kids out of legal trouble. So when we've had this be a consistent theme throughout the series, it only makes sense that red tape and bureaucracy would come into play at every level of heroism, including and especially focusing on international heroism. And when you can launch a bunch of intercontinental missiles and send the strongest hero in the world to Japan and they don't come out of it alive, the odds of your hero coming out of it alive are hilariously low. And therefore, it isn't even worth it for you to send your assets. You're better off doing everything in your power to fix your own current country in its like current state. Japan is basically no man's land now. So all that'll happen is that things will get even more intense from here. And I think it's important that we only got to see like Vestige for one talking crap to Cassie or the dead Vestige, instead of seeing Shigaraki talking and seeing Tenko with no in between emphasized. So yeah, but Watkins East. Let me let y'all keep saying y'all piece.
I mean, and in and of that, it's like, where did you even start? Yeah, they honestly, there's the them getting the week is actually better for everybody, even reading too, because like, yeah, you see the issue. I don't have the same issue that the masses have. My issue isn't the faith, like the worryiness and faith and the shakiness and faith that a lot of people here have. My issue is just that my patience just truly running like that because I know what's around the corner. And I'm like, good Lord, I gotta keep hearing the same rhetoric. Like again, like honestly, how many times are y'all gonna get fooled? You do realize that last panel, this is the 12th fucking time since the beginning of the war that they said they gonna stop these niggas. We gonna take them out. We gonna make a move. We gonna get them here. We gonna do this, that, the other. It's the 12th time. You know what? You know what that means? The 12. You know why the count keeps going up? Because they failed to do what they said when they said they're gonna stop them. But y'all keep for some reason falling for this fucking false hope bait bullshit. Let me tell y'all something. The Heroes have literally no clue where off one of them are at. They got 1 week to prepare to go try to find somebody when they couldn't even do it before. Meanwhile, you do realize all the wild cards the villains have, right? The PLF advisors, who once again scale up there with the top 20, top 15 in rank. Because literally, if you relook at what happened when the Shocker, he could have folded everybody there if Kaminari was not there to absorb electricity. Everybody would have went down. So and that's the support regiment. Imagine the guerrilla warfare tactic people that are up there that Dobby's people escape. Dobby said I haven't gone far enough. Dobby's seen this. I haven't gone far enough. That means he's making moves. And Skeptic just told y'all 3 chapters ago, hey, round up everybody you can. Get the army. We're going to make a move. We're going to liberate all this, that, other. Toga's in the wind. The volume extra show if off one got smugglers. And if we bring her back trigger into this, like they said, that was heavy in the movie, like, you got to realize all the wild cards the villains have. And we know everything the heroes got. The only new information they're going to get is analyzing some quirks, which we already seen. So they literally don't really have shit to combat this. It's like they're on the back foot and they keep saying, oh, we going to make the stop, the rematch. What ground do you really have to stand on to back up your claims? If I say, let me put this to y'all. Watkins, how long have you been wrestling for? How much experience do you have?
I did about maybe 8 years.
8 years, professional actually wrestling. And he got belts, right?
Yeah.
This is me talking about I be spar wrestling with my friends and say, well, you know what? I know a technique. I'm gonna go take out Watkins. This nigga been wrestling for 8 years, got like 100 pounds on me, dog. Who you think are really gonna take this match? The nigga with the credibility and all the moves and techniques, or me? It's like they don't really have the shit to combat to back up what they're saying. What do they have? Prime Mel, I keep telling you. Let me answer this. Prime Mel, ask any nigga right now. I promise you. Give me a logical reason and explanation on how the heroes win without defaulting to the same rhetoric and bullshit of, oh, he gonna rush. Oh, shonen power up. Oh, power of friendship. Those are not actual logical reasons. Those are just catchphrases y'all throw away because y'all don't have an explanation.
Remember when the term buzzwords?
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's like same thing with Stars and Stripes. Guess what everybody did? Oh, he made him overpowered. Oh, he made him overpowered. Like, oh, he just fucking he made him overpowered. Oh, it's the Maruchi effect. Oh no. Instead of thinking, wait, how can he write himself out of this? Or how can he like do this to counter this or actually think ahead? These people just give up without actually thinking. This is playing with Horikoshi. You got to think, bro. You don't just throw your hands up in the air and say, oh, all is lost, because y'all keep getting proven wrong. Think. Stop giving up. Actually think. Come up with an actual theory, not a doom theory of ways things can go wrong. Think of, hey, I think this can get I think this can go this way or this can go this way. Like, actually use your brain. Just stop giving up. Like, y'all don't really do that. And y'all really keep falling for the same rhetoric and gimmick. The heroes have not really accomplished shit. The best they got was that bitch ass Bird Hawks going after twice. And that was it. That Makia was supposed to wake up. Shigaraki was supposed to escape. So really the only thing they managed to accomplish when going in there was taken out twice. That was the only thing they really managed to accomplish when they set in there. Everything else, Makia wasn't supposed to wake up. No advisors were supposed to escape. Shigaraki wasn't supposed to leave. Off one of them was supposed to bust out of prison. Like, yeah. Remember Far From Home, Villain Hunt, whatever you want to call it. Bless you. Remember Far From Home when everybody was like, "Oh, top 3 team up and they gonna take out. We gonna settle score at the villains." Look how that ended now. Bless you. Right, Nafisa. Think, fans, think. Golly, like, come on, man. But that's me just talking like I be talking. Like, I don't know. I guess I be talking to the air or brick walls. I must stop.
Well, that sounds like the fandom.
Because here's my stance on this, right? Is that there's something to be said about how somber the last page still looks. And what's more is that even with, us knowing that Star got some of the issues, what these other countries do, what it really opens up the door for is Japan sinking further. Because now, yeah, sure, TV is not a thing. But anybody who has connections, people like Feel Good Inc., so, Skeptic, the fact that all other countries are like, yeah, y'all on your own. Bye, nigga. That's something that somebody like Skeptic is going to make sure the general populace knows. So it does not matter that, it's not as, nope, doesn't matter. Because they're gonna make those posters, they're gonna get that stuff distributed, they're gonna let people in Japan know nobody is coming to save you except our savior. Oh, yeah, and Joseph Ciola points out that if a hero makes a preemptive plan, that plan is going to fail. This is just like, because even with the data from this battle, all that sounds like to me is a false sense of security.
Mm-hmm.
The data from the raid on Tartarus had them confident. We keep seeing time and time, like Hawk's data had them confident. Every time the heroes decide, ever since Camino, Camino's the only time they succeeded in doing what they were set out to do. And even then, they didn't actually succeed in the goal, because the goal was to get back Bakugo and shut down the League of Villains. All for One was like a hidden boss that they weren't supposed to even be encountering.
It's like when you pull up on Sephiroth by accident in Kingdom Hearts 2. Hello?
This is the equivalent of going into a dungeon that's really high level, that has a bonus boss in it, and you can escape the dungeon an alternate path without completing some of the objectives, but you miss out. Camino, they beat All for One, got his ass arrested, captured Bakugo. So it's oh, cool. But they didn't actually clear the final boss level or the sub boss level with Shigaraki in the League of Villains. And now those became the main boss levels throughout later arcs. So even Camino, it's being said, didn't go as it was supposed to.
Hey, exactly.
Hell, if you use USJ, these niggas can't even plan a class properly without some shit going left.
Bro, how many times the entire reason we in this shit and the kids got their license before this shit was literally because they kept getting fucking attacked. They called with their ass out. Every time. Oh, my fault, you got it.
You know what went how it was supposed to go? Sports festival. And you know what? That didn't even go how it was supposed to go. You know why? Because the cool, edgy rival character we were introduced to turns out to be a nigga who can't even fight at full power half the time because he got mental blocks.
Come on now.
These niggas can't even have a festival properly. What? Culture Festival might have been the only plan that they made that actually went through. And notice that was almost all students.
Yeah, and literally that shit almost got fucking turned about because Genta was literally right outside the gate. And La Brava was running too.
And Hosu, things went well because they caught Stain, sure, but he ended up with permanent nerve damage. So yeah, I don't know. Best Genius being out of commission for 6 months.
That wasn't called for.
In fact, Best Genius was out of commission for the raid was in August, so he was out for about 3 to 4 months before he ran into Hawks, and then ended up out for a total of 7 to 8 months since he also went on ice.
That's what I'm saying. It's just honesty, bro. Ask these people logically how the heroes win without using their famous buzzwords. Ask them. And don't even mention Horikoshi Russian or the final art. Because even this is, and matter of fact, on note of that, until he says something out his mouth or the team says final art,
Okay, any notion of
Only
this?
people won't even word. Fuck.
Did the entrance exam go properly, or did Deku end up on the ground mangled and they just had a contingency to cover when shit goes left in the entrance exam, Julian?
Tell me, yeah.
And they missed Shinso. So, like, think about it. They missed Shinso, who inevitably ended up in the hero course. So even the entrance exam didn't go how it was supposed to.
Exactly. And also exactly poised Shiggy was justifiably nerfed to prevent a Madara from happening. Once again, Horikoshi knew what he was doing. Like, this is the thing that kills me. People swear to God they're the only ones that read Naruto. They say, and you see the contradictoriness, right? It's like y'all say like y'all read Naruto, right? And then y'all got PTSD from it. Then you say like, okay, Horikoshi gonna like, it's gonna take Naruto influences, right? But if it's like he's seeing the same issues Naruto had, so why would he follow that? The same thing you worried about is the same thing he already acknowledged reading that. So like he sees the same shit as you. Y'all swear like he didn't read the series or something. That's the thing that be blowing me back. I'm like, yeah, you realize he read it too, right? He's seeing this shit that downfall of the series, but y'all acting like he didn't read it, but he's taking influences from it. Like, I mean, make it make sense to me, because somebody wouldn't like explain it to me because it don't make sense to me.
Oh yeah, technically the school's on hiatus, so he's not. Also, because final arc, right? Yeah, that's what people said about Deku Far From Home. And then we basically got what's the equivalent of another pro hero arc with Star and Stripe here going against Shigaraki. So we've basically gotten 2 arcs since the final arc started. We just got to accept that the last act meant the last phase of the story and move on from there, because this is the same dude that thought Sports Festival was going to be 20 chapters or like 10 chapters or something like that. He thought it was going to be 10 chapters, and it ended up being like 22 to 24 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And he already told you about the 5 volumes thing. It was like, yeah, not anymore. He didn't even give a specific thing. It's just like that should have gave you reassurance, but somehow y'all took it on the negative end. I don't know how the fuck y'all do that. Like I don't even think that's pessimist. I just don't know what that is. What's the opposite of optimism? Like,
oh, Bala.
I need a direct word for that.
So many people were like, well, this is the last act. This is the last arc. It's like, it's called the last act. We're starting the final arc, guys. And it's like, well, okay.
But here's the other thing, too. I know another series that had a last arc be announced, and that shit lasted, what, 2.5 years? About? Talking about Bleach's final arc.
Shit, that motherfucker was like 240 chapters or some shit. Yeah. I'm like, bro, hello?
Like,
225 chapters of pure gas with 5 chapters of, oh, that was rushed.
Yeah.
like I mean, like, come on, bro.
Just use your heads and think.
I read that work by that person. I'm not using name drops.
Wait, you mean to tell me that's the motherfucker that wrote that Requiem bullshit?
Yeah, that ravioli.
Don't put that nigga in the same room as me.
Look,
because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Don't put me in the room, the same room as that nigga. Don't
look. The ravioli rewrite. Trying to figure out how to look. It was just really campy, and you could tell that it was written by a young author. That's what I'll say. And so for me, it was like the best way to handle this is for this person to there was a surplus of corny dialogue. Like none of the dialogue was very in character. How to put this? None of the dialogue was in character, and certain decisions like Mina dropping out of the hero course were in direct contradiction to how these characters are written, to the extent that it's like, yeah, this is just a complete alternate take on how you see Class 1A, and that's fine. The way I look at it is, it's like in 5 years, you're gonna reread, like they'll probably go back. If they keep the ravioli rewrite in 5 years, they're gonna read that and be like, oh, all right, so this was bad. But it's not irredeemably bad. It just, yes, the movie reference was terrible. Chocolate Thunder, if you thought it was good, I'm worried about you.
Chocolate Thunder, don't do this to me, please.
Ooh,
Don't do this to me.
no.
Because
I got faith in you. You one of my ride or dies, all right? You're supposed to be holding it down for me.
because I'm gonna put this. I'm trying to, because I don't want to be like flaming it, because it's very much like it comes off as like somebody's like first or second like writing project. So it's like I don't want to like make it sound like, oh, you're an irredeemable writer that can never be like, no, I'm not trying to do that. That's
Honestly, you should just
yeah.
It's just a fan fiction. That's all I'm chalking up to. Please,
'Cause,
please stop trying to write the series better than somebody that author.
Because even the things that like the ideas for like, oh, like here it's like, well, because of all the dialogue and stuff that you presented here, no, this is definitely worse. And in addition to that, some of the stuff, the ravioli rewrite hinges on a premise that kind of annoys me, which is that people always complain about, oh, we don't want to be spoon fed, and then they're like, well, no, I want all this stuff. It's very spoon feedy. There's no showing. It's a bunch of telling. And it's like whenever people say Mina didn't have trauma responses, I'm like, oh, because it was really bad. And if you're gonna criticize the series so heavily and you put out something like that, you're gonna get a lot of people mad at you because you've been talking so much crap about the series, and then you put out something that is objectively worse. That's why people were so mad at them. It came off as a very, very arrogant thing to do. And that person did not intend to be arrogant. That was not their goal. They're just a genuinely like less experienced human being that didn't realize the way that that came off. And unfortunately, I will say that some of their friends are going to do the thing where they just like blindly support them instead of being like, well, because of the way you've postured this, you created a high expectation and did not live up to that. Instead of just admitting that to them, they're going to be like, no, they're just haters. You did great. And that isn't going to help that person in the future. So,
all right. In order for us not to lose any more viewers, or be kind to the chat. Some people are confused about the ravioli thing. That
somebody tried to rewrite the villain hunt arc. We're not naming names. We're not posting links. We're not doing any of that stuff. It's just somebody did a rewrite of the villain hunt arc as a fan fiction. If you try really hard, you can find it. I'm not using names because I don't want people to go around and harass that person, because there have been people who've gone out of their way to like extra crap on them. My ultimate stance is this: the ravioli rewrite is campy and very out of character, but that just makes it a fan fiction / alternate universe take. And it definitely does lose the plot of the main story because, for example, a character like Mina was showing her behavioral pattern change instead of just saying, I am upset because of this, and therefore I've become more protective of my friends. Exactly. That's because that's really cringy, and honestly having people just like straight up state like, yeah, I'm really depressed, so because I'm really depressed, I'm gonna do this. It's like, no. And Mina wouldn't quit, because if she was gonna quit and not go to be a hero, she wouldn't have done it after the first run with Gigantomachia. So that particularly annoyed me, because it was like, well, you completely ignored who and what this character is.
And honestly, y'all niggas wanting the kids to quit in hindsight really doesn't add up, because like they already said, listen, bro, we already faced the worst of the worst. Like, well, we already faced like life or death in our first go around the USJ. And since then, they've done nothing but face niggas out the blue and out the woodworks coming at their neck. Like, overhaul is a proper way for what should have happened. Like, the worst case scenario is what happens on the hero duty. That shit that happened at fucking USJ in the camp, that shit should not have happened. That's not run of the mill. Overhaul is sort of like extremely run of the mill for like a thing. Like, it's something that should happen. You should go on a raid, but it went left. But it's still in the end, it was redeemable. You just lost one. You lost one life. That's okay. Like, that's something you suspect out of a hero. Us getting ambushed in school and down there nearly dying, that's not something that should happen. So that strengthened their resolve only going forward. So like them not even getting the villain's not even taking over fully, just so escaping and them losing a lot of heroes, that shouldn't make them quit.
Let me put it this way.
Think about it.
What I'm saying is this: not that everybody should be. I'm saying people shouldn't be mean to this person about their fanfic. Do I think it's good? No, that's not why I'm telling you shouldn't be mean. I'm not saying don't be mean to them because it's such a great writing. No, I'm telling you not to be mean to them because it doesn't matter. And yeah, did I think it was campy and not that great? Sure, but like that's not gonna make me go be a bully and like try to get people to go on their head. So like I get why people were annoyed by it because I gave it a fair shot just because it was so controversial. I decided to give it that read. Normally, I don't touch fanfic for all the reasons because most fanfic falls into this line of very out of character or campy, and I don't enjoy reading camp that much. So that's fine. It's not for me. It's not going to be for most people, and that's okay.
And but I'm gonna start addressing some stuff in the chat because I don't like people being ignored. I know I don't like wasting my breath. I'm not gonna waste y'all breath either. So let's just read some stuff in the chat for right now. And no poison tree. I don't know about Anarchy, but I do not read fanfics. I'm good at that. All due respect, though, I don't judge people who do. You know, that's you. That's you. Do what you like. No, yes, JJ. I know they sensitive or whatever, and I'm not getting no space. I ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings. But if y'all set it up, that motherfucker agree. Whatever happens at that on y'all. Don't look at me crazy. If y'all set that up and it go left, that's on y'all, not on me. What's some things? Prime Mel, I know nothing about Bleach or what Anarchy is talking about. The ravioli thing, he just explained that. Bleach, basically, the final arc was basically what, 4 years? It was like 240 chapters.
Here, that's one that I'll gladly go pull up the manga real quick for because the 1,000-year blood. No, I love Look, if you didn't like Bleach that much or whatever, fine. But I genuinely believe that the 1,000-year blood war is like what it comes down to. Okay, because I was thinking about this during like the other random anti-Twitter controversy, which was Bankai a big thing or not? Because people were like, I never heard no kids yell Bankai, and I'm like,
boy, who the fuck?
What?
Did you just get out of high school? Because like Bankai was like. I heard people yell Bankai more than I heard people yell Rasengan, even though Rasengan was like Naruto was more popular. Like, does that make sense?
No, it does.
Like,
because it's true.
And somebody, like, I saw somebody be like, no, Gear 4, and I was like, all right, bro, this got to be like a.
One Piece isn't even that popular in.
Like, I was like, this got to be some like teenager stalking here because like this don't make sense. What y'all talking about? Y'all, Willis.
So what were you looking at with Bleach?
The start of the 1,000-year blood war.
So the start of it is chapter 480.
Okay. And then it goes to 686.
Yep. So that is 246 chapter. Something like that. Yeah.
So it's like that's literally the final arc itself. Not even act. Not final act, not final phase of the story. Final arc where everything concludes and comes in together.
Yeah.
And then he came back with another shit to it because he didn't get it properly concluded.
Man, okay. First off, I thought about doing a video on the Bleach Hell chapter, and then I just never got around to it because I'm always swamped permanently now. But the Bleach Hell chapter was fantastic.
That shit, Kubo back in formation, boy.
Like the premise of that arc is like so engaging to me that I'm like, okay, but like, is this gonna be like Burn the Witch, where you were like, I'm dropping seasonal manga, and then I'm just sitting here waiting for season 2 still? You gonna do me like this, Kubo, or are you gonna show up and drop that gas on it?
Yeah, I'm really curious about what his plan is right there. Like, hey, bro, you said Burn the Witch was seasonal, nigga. You ain't never come back.
Yeah.
Like, how many seasons that's like, it's been over a year now since Burn the Witch dropped.
Yeah.
Like,
seasonal, you gotta come back after a minute, bro. But this nigga said, I'm about to go ahead and drop Bleach real quick. And then where Bleach at? Shit, this nigga fooling around. You know what? And Fujimoto too? Yeah, I'm on your ass, nigga. Barking ass. You gonna fool around, talk about some part 2. Nigga over here drawing more one shots and pictures and shit. That one shot was gas, but nigga, if you don't give me some part 2 information down, you just give me a time frame. I don't mind you resting and relaxing, but you over here writing stuff still. So I'm like, all right, now and then, you know.
Because that's my thing too, is that like he dropped Burn the Witch, like, see, look, people still interested in Bleachverse. You had the Can't Feel Your Own World novels dropping, and it was like, all right, yeah. The Bleach Hell stuff, that's the one shot. Yeah. Burn the Witch has like 4 or 5 chapters, each is like 30 pages long. So like 300, 400K. Yes, Yuji Kaku is the GOAT though. And more people need to read Hell's Paradise and his new series. Don't let my man fail out of jump.
Nah, I've been reading. I read the new series, the first chapter of the new series. I'm gonna read the second chapter. That shit was funny as hell though. I was wondering, and you know, I was wondering like what was the panel that Aniki was laughing so hard about? Because I couldn't figure. I was like, all this shit is good, but like, you know, I ain't busting on my ass. Bless you. I ain't busting on my ass laughing yet. And then that motherfucker said he hit the Goku. He hit the Goku. I started busting out laughing. I said, that's what that nigga was laughing about, because that shit was funny as hell.
Yep, you turned the page when he launched that shit, and you was like, "Oh no, this man."
Yeah, I did it. I bust my ass off laughing, boy. I said, "Yo, that shit hilarious, son."
It's Ayashimon.
It's right on. You just go to Manga Plus, bro. It's right there. You'll recognize it. Page for that bitch, gas. But yeah, man. I mean,
jokes on you, Cameron Bailey. I like Hunter x Hunter and Bleach. And like, the thing with Hunter x Hunter that like confuses me the most is that I know he wants to draw it himself, but you sleep next to a mangaka every day, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe not because of your back. I take that back. I shouldn't assume that y'all get to sleep in the same bed anymore because your back issues seem pretty terrible. You might need like a super special arrangement that just don't make that possible. But you live in the house with another mangaka. Come on, Tagashi. Let her draw.
Nah, I'm not. I have back problems too, right? Because the car accident and shit, and I fell down some concrete stairs, and I fucked up my shit again. But I ain't no living that nigga now. Don't get it twisted. I just got back pains and shit. But nigga, I even walking too, you know. But like, I understand having back pains, but there come a time and place, nigga. Your ass is literally. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It looking like you gonna die before this shit finish. We just gonna keep it a buck here. How long it's been since a chapter dropped and your health not getting any better? It's only been consistently bad as before. So like, if nothing's in your health and your back issues are weighing and giving you better, and you don't want nobody to write, and you only getting older, and every day you get older, it's closer you are to death. Reality is, nigga, you're not gonna finish this series. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you. And I know Oda got his shit like written out. Thank God, you know, just in case something were to happen. God forbid something happen to me. He already got his final shit written out. So at least worst come to worst, we know what happens at the end. God forbid, you know what. You know who, rest in peace, the other late author, you know what series. I'd rather not name drop him because, you know, shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, at least we got a conclusion. Like, all right, well, the One Piece is this or is that or whatever have you. He got that written out. It's too much shit, and I don't think this nigga got that shit written out. I don't trust him to. And it's like, bro, you know, I understand you want to write yourself, but you kind of don't have that luxury anymore. That shit has passed. It's been like over 10, 15 years, bro, since he had a consistent schedule of release for Hunter x Hunter.
That was part of the conditions for him to do Hunter x Hunter. He was straight up like, hey, yo, I ended Yu Yu Hakusho early because I just didn't feel like putting up these deadlines. So if you give me the ability to do this whenever I feel like it, I got you. But otherwise, move around. It's like how Murata just drops One Punch Man chapters like once every random amount of days.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Have that pool though. That shit crazy to have that pool.
Like, if you were a mangaka in the 90s, it seems like you got treated very well. Mm-hmm. Like,
especially you had a previous series.
Because like Kazuki Takahashi, is eating off Yu-Gi-Oh! Still. He is still like credited with like the original concept of that. And we're on like the 4th or 5th iteration of it, and he's not even the main author anymore. But I guarantee you, he is still getting paid
off that shit.
And he deliberately like organized the card game where I guess we got like the 3rd set of rules when it finally came to the States or whatever. And it's like he designed a card game, so he's constantly eating off this card game he made, plus he's eating off this manga series. Like, I don't even know if the dude has to actually work anymore.
He don't. That nigga set for life. Like, honestly, you have one banger series, you kind of set for the rest of life. Because even the Shaman King author, I was watching a video, and that nigga still got his studio, and he got like, so he got card collection and shit. And I'm like, this nigga ain't, Shaman King kind of got like, can't like, axed, rush, you know, cut short. But yet this nigga ain't really worked on nothing since then.
I mean, he's got a sequel series out now.
Yeah, now, but like before then, like, you know, like what was that nigga doing between all those years? Like, a nigga was just cooling. And I'm pretty sure that's because he wanted to write the sequel series as is.
Oh yeah, whoever made Pokemon is just, well, okay, Pokemon is a bit more complicated because when you think about it, you have the Game Freak stuff, which is like entirely separate from like a lot of the manga stuff. So in that case, that's more like the gaming company is likely making the money than the mangaka, but you know, Church of MHA where we discuss everything.
Wouldn't it be like a little bit of a Stan Lee type predicament? Because like, you know, him and the other nigga, they basically like created the catalyst or this Marvel itself, like the characters and stuff, but then it expanded into this broad ass franchise where you got everybody doing everything.
Yeah.
So I think it would be sort of like that. Like you still like bank, but you know, this other niggas probably making the bulk of it, but you would still be living off a good amount of shit.
I think your younger brother has some of those cards left, like a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon that happens to go for about $30-$40, potentially up to 70 right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Still can't believe Horikoshi gave that away to 9. That was wasted. That was.
Hey, hold on! Don't slander the Pokemon manga because whenever I take the time to read the Pokemon manga, it actually goes a little hard because in Pokemon manga they actually be trying to kill each other.
Yeah, them niggas don't be fooling around in Pokemon. Like niggas be dying in that bitch, but
Yeah.
Like,
that shit's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like you don't just be losing about it, you be losing your life, nigga.
like Blaine was going against Lance, like Cinnabar Blaine was in a Pokemon battle with Lance and used Mewtwo Psychic to break this nigga's Pokeballs. He was like, you ain't even, fuck your Pokeballs. The only reason that didn't matter was because Lance had already like released all his Pokemon and had him in like lurking in the cut. So then it ended up being like a 6-versus-1 with Blaine and Mewtwo versus like 6 other Pokemon. But yeah. Or like how the poison gym leader Koga from Kanto, yeah. If you could cut his Arbok in half and it would regenerate. And then basically they were like, based on the designs of the hood, you can tell what kind of ability that an Arbok would have. She was crazy.
God.
But yeah.
All right, so now it's time for the real conversation. All right. Get off of there. No, because you're gonna move. No, because you're gonna move. You know, you're gonna press my button again.
By his cat again.
My laptop ain't gonna work. You did that
He's getting bullied by his cat, just so y'all know.
Yeah, always bullying me, dog. Yeah. Beat your ass when I get off stream. Say what?
Hey, bro, don't incriminate yourself.
Yeah, now it's time for the real conversation. All right. This is a real serious one right here. So I really ain't got no food in the crib, but I got money. And there's a Mexican spot right around the corner. Now I don't know whether I should go with my tacos or I should get like that plate that got like the beans, the rice, the carne asada with the tortillas on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a tough decision I need to make. Get the last time to eat out all week. The plate? All right, bet. Say less.
Yeah.
Say less. All right. Bet. Nah, for real, Tanisha. Spoiled ass brat be fucking running around. I be sitting on my bed. Can't use my phone. Motherfucker come over here.
All right, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Bala. You're right that the
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon manga is raw, but most people don't care.
That is.
I'd be accidentally dropping it. I'm just saying, like, it is good. I just don't be reading it.
Yeah, that's right, Tunisia. We Egyptian in this house. We worship the cat gods. Look at them.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, it looks like everybody's unanimous. The plate is the way to go.
100%.
Bala, how do you always the only nigga confused? Where do you be at? Got 5 people in here that know exactly what's going on after I just explained it. And you the only nigga talking about what he's talking about. Where do you be at? Damn. It's always one person in the classroom, man. Damn.
Tragic.
Oh God.
Some of the main things that I think of is that Pokemon got censored for James cross-dressing once and wearing like fake boobs. The Porygon episode.
James don't detect. That's my goal.
They cut out a good chunk of the Safari Zone episode where Ash caught all the Tauros because they was pulling out straps all the time. Oh.
They also got the
So is there stream next week for next chapter because of the holidays? So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to be here next Sunday.
What holiday is next Sunday?
Thanksgiving is Thursday.
Yeah, but what does that got to do with?
Well, some people be out of town doing stuff.
Okay. I see what you mean. Okay, my fault. I understand that. I'll be here.
I'm pretty sure most of us who, even if any of us go do that by Sunday, we'll be back home sitting there with a plate of leftovers.
Oh God, oh my God. Yeah, we got y'all next week, bro. So I guess anybody anything they want to talk about? Now I'm gonna let Tarnish do that because that's his boat. I'm gonna let him get that off. Something about Spider-Man, but I ain't gonna touch it. I'm gonna let Tarnish do that. That's his shit. He called it first, so I give credit where credit is due. I don't steal people's shit. But
and even if they wasn't here next week, I would probably just do I'd cover the MHA chapter and then maybe do chapter 2 or 3 chapters or a chapter of different series.
Yeah, it'd be an amalgamation, put together. But I feel like there'll be more to talk about actually next week because this was just an epilogue / cut into the next thing. Because I don't even think it's the next. I wouldn't even call this an arc. Yeah, because I just call this like a.
Next week we'll start some new shit.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at this as the Star and Stripe versus Shigaraki thing. Like I said at the beginning of the second stream, I think more like it's like a continuation of, or it's like a pro hero arc type thing. It's not necessarily
a super massive interconnected thing. Is just on its own, but it connects to the story.
So yeah, it's its own thing. It connects to the story. It's going to play into the following up events. Part of the thing that I have here is that we've seen we have not seen the Shigaraki vestige. We have seen the Tenko vestige, but I think that the Tenko vestige has even more power. And I wouldn't be surprised if all those hands on Tenko were also symbolic of some of the quirks now holding back part of his consciousness.
You know what? Shad says something very interesting about that too on Twitter. Shall I pull it up? Because I got the link somewhere around.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, 1 second. Oh, and thank you, Alves, for wishing everybody a happy festivities and holiday. We very much appreciate it.
Of course. Y'all here grumpy all the time.
Yeah.
Need that love.
Oh, it wasn't Shaz. It was Souls 99. As you know, INT Madman or Int Madman or however the hell you pronounce that. He said Hori snapped so hard with this panel, the one of Shigaraki or Tenko with all the hands all over him. And it's there are so many hands latching on to Shigaraki to comfort him. But what they are doing is suppressing his emotions, thoughts, and by extension, his consciousness. These hands are symbolic of All-For-One's manipulative nature. He did not take Tenko under his wing out of genuine concern, which is true. He extended his hand out to him with ulterior motives of turning him into his replacement. And plus, to play a sick joke, which is also true. All this is leading up to Deku's hands reaching out to Tenko to save him for the first time in his life. Shigaraki is going to receive proper help from someone who wouldn't dehumanize his existence or have any underlying motives for helping him. This person just saves those who look like they need saving. It explains why there has been a lot of focus on the hands in the last 30 chapters. And then they posted a picture of Ida taking Deku's hand, and Ochako taking Deku's hand. Then you got another one you can think about is the second user grabbing the first user's hand, but it started here. Then Deku grabbing the God's hand, started there. You know. You also got the failed attempt where All Might tried to grab Deku's hand and reached out, but those didn't quite connect.
See, and that's so. The way I look at it is that Tenko acknowledges Midoriya the same way that Shigaraki acknowledged Eraserhead, like you mentioned. So I kind of see it as an inevitability that at some point on a vestige space level, like especially because there was a reason a 5-year-old Deku ended up popping up. There's a reason we went back to that form when he got to have access to all of his like talking. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point we get to see 5-year-old Deku and 5-year-old Tenko walk away together. And it could easily be juxtapositioned with that peaceful serenity for like the child version of Deku and the child version of Tenko and Shigaraki Tomura, seeing them walk together and then cutting away to the like conscious level, and it's basically Deku like punching fucking Melvin's face, and that would be beautiful.
Well, at that point it'd be straight Shigaraki at that point. And by that time, it wouldn't be Melvin anymore. Thank God. I can't wait till that shit is handled.
So,
but anytime, but Primal, and for those of y'all who have faith, but you be hearing those dumbasses on Twitter talking about it's in there or he rushing this, that, and the other. Two things. One, wait until you get actual confirmation that this is the final arc from the author himself. Arc, as in A-R-C, arc, not act. Act is a phase of the story. Arc. Actually, I got 3 things to say. Arc. Like, remember that. And even then, all this false hope is just how many times are y'all going to get fooled by that? Ooh, we got time to take it back. Ooh, we'll make it right. Ooh, we're the heroes. We got to... No. Logically, think about it logically all the time within the narrative of the story. Logically think. Okay? Second, anytime you think it's going to end, think about all the wild cards that we haven't even touched upon. We only seen 3 advisors out of like the other groups that will escape. I don't even know how many escape. It was like 113 like niggas that escape, and then we got advisors too on top of that. And remember, they scale extremely high. We just haven't got to see them fully properly flex. So, and then there's still the smugglers. The league hasn't even been reunited with Shigaraki. There's so many things that like need to come together before we even head into the next battle. On top of that. And the third thing, anytime people ask from now on, oh, if the villains win, how will the heroes survive? Now, one of Horikoshi's biggest inspirations, and this is in like some hidden information, it's completely stated time and time again. Dun, 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 dun. In a galaxy far, far away, literally the premise of Star Wars. Rebels fighting back the Empire, which rules the entire galaxy. And spoiler alert, they win. Woo, oh my God, mind blown. The heroes won over the Empire. So you like, y'all act like it's impossible for the heroes to escape and then take back Japan. Like that isn't the premise of half Star Wars.
So my thing is that it's just kind of obvious. The sagas were called the UA Beginning Saga, the Rise of the Villains Saga, so which culminated in effectively, okay. The way I look at it is that the war arc ends at 306 when the title The Last Act Begins pops up.
Officially, yes.
So if you look at that as the war arc, then that means that the last 10 chapters. Wait, what's up?
Oh, I did the Indiana Jones theme song.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, I was curious.
You started singing. I'm like, wait.
You know what's funny? I was just listening to that shit too. I was just listening to that one. I was like, damn, you know what?
I was just gonna let it go off. I was gonna let you have your own thing. I was just gonna let it happen.
Yeah, you know Chad was gonna do that. They
I
waiting
was
for me to
like-
come up.
I was like, maybe I'm thinking I'm tripping, but
Nah, I
I
was
was
the one
like-
that was tripping.
I was like, wait a minute, Indiana Jones. What? Indiana Jones is crap.
Oh,
Oh,
you
hey,
know
it's
what?
okay.
Hey, listen, you're not wrong. You didn't have to go there. You had to say.
Wait, there were people who watch Infinity War without Okay, also I gotta get this off my chest. Shang-Chi was mid.
Damn, he said Shang-Chi was mid.
Like, okay. And maybe it's because like I was seeing all the positive reviews online and I was like, all right, bet this is gonna be good. And then I was like, all right, cool. So more than likely this has been hyped up. This is gonna be like a kung fu movie with like some of the MCU sprinkled in. But no, this was just an MCU film. Just
A little bit of
another
a little bit of
by
kung
the
fu
numbers
speaking.
MCU film with like a little kung fu seasoning. I was so disappointed. It was like, okay. The reason why you want to know why Ridley Scott specifically recently said the MCU is bad and like people are only impressed by it if they're not used to effects?
Was a
It's because of Shang-Chi. Like, because Shang-Chi took the formula of a good kung fu movie with like journeying and traveling, and then it went, instead of being mostly practical like a lot of kung fu films are, it was mostly CGI stuff. Like the amount of times I've seen, and yeah, Bala, I was watching Shang-Chi with my girlfriend, and then like I ended up going and talking to one of my buddies at work about it. And I was like, no, they it's like they completely misunderstood. Like the reason, like to this day, Daredevil hallway fight scene, is it not one of the best fight scenes from Marvel ever?
Listen. We not listen. There's cream of the crop, and then there's the Marvel franchise. Okay, all right. There's two different things. There's the Marvel movie franchise, and then there's Daredevil. Okay.
The Daredevil hallway fight scene is an actually great example of why what the MCU did with Shang-Chi pisses me off, because you can do long form shots with excellent hand-to-hand combat and not cutting in every 5 seconds, not constantly zooming in and out, not like the amount of, like when you watch kung fu films and people do that thing where they jump dodge and split with both legs, the thing that makes that stuff so good is that they're usually either jumping to another platform and parkouring over, or it's quick, done, they're down and they combo it in. The amount of slow motion, like it's like, man, y'all can, it's like you just disrespect. Like I wanted to go watch The Raid after this. Like I was like looking up online, like, man, who's streaming The Raid?
Listen.
Who's streaming The
Hey
Raid?
man, listen. What the boys know about The Raid? Boy, that Tony John, them boys, boy. Stop playing with them boys, man.
Like I was about to look up Ip Man so I could watch the movie about the dude who trained Bruce Lee, so I could get some actual my actual kung fu itch scratch. Like if you want to be, and that's the thing, like if you want to be funny in a kung fu movie, that's allowed. Kung Fu Hustle does that. It was just fucking mediocre, and I feel like people liked it because they didn't have any experience with the kung fu film genre. Like, bro, sorry, had to get that off my chest. I was hoping that it wasn't just at this point. I've decided that the reason why people like MCU so much and gas up all these films because it helps them feel like film buffs. But they can be like, well, back in this film from like the fourth MCU film. So it's like, because you've got like 30 films that are all interconnected, they get to feel like, yeah. And like you got this, like really, it's just like the MCU is like a bunch of people at a pep rally where like if you just let yourself get into it and start yelling a bunch, eventually you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm having fun at this pep rally. And it's like a never-ending pep rally. And nobody's like, damn, this chant is really corny. But then like new people walk in and there are the people who are like, wow, this looks fun. And they just go full sprint, or they're like, yeah, no, this is garbage. This is weird. Let me just go out of here. Bye. So yeah. Yeah, I'm a like I was like, man, what's the top 13? Like I was like looking up kung fu movies, like, man, I need to find some good kung fu movies. I gotta get that taste out of my mouth. So yeah. But yeah, I had to get that. No, they need to. We need. The reality is that the MCU has not become like the defining comic book film genre. It's secretly just the Fast and the Furious with superheroes.
Hey man, but you know what? You ain't wrong, but I will say this: there's still some standouts. But you know, hey, listen, I don't care about nothing though. No Way Home for to be gassed down. That different. All right, we're going all in for that one.
Man, I'll be trying to enjoy it, but
I'm somebody because Endai had told me like, oh, that Holland's final Spider-Man since he signed on for like 5 movies. I was like, oh shit, right? Really is that nigga?
Yeah, like
Plays Holland and putting Maguire and Garfield. That's why.
Yeah, like Spider-Man being like, okay, cool. Like Tony and Spider-Man interacting was kind of cool, but like letting some of these characters, like the MCU is like overly connected. That's my big issue, I think, at this point. It's like, let some of these characters, and like I think that's what people really meant. Like, oh, we departed from the MCU formula with Shang-Chi. They meant it wasn't heavily connected to everything else, but everything else was still very much stuff. So yeah. All right. Talking about superhero stuff that doesn't annoy me. Back in the chapter real quick so we can do the wrap up. We're part 2 already.
And that stupid. You better get your ass right. I beat your ass. So
this upcoming confrontation realistically is not the finale. This is more than likely going to be what finally gets Deku out of here, as far as like out of Japan. This is likely to be what will be solidifying their role, because we need to get to the absolute darkest point. The upside is that maybe the kids can actually do something nice for the people. They're going to need it, because now what you need to look at is that because we've been given this week, however hopeful, however positive, however nice these next 3 to 4 chapters seem, understand that what's about to happen is realistically going to be far, far worse. So that is the mentality I want you to be approaching these next couple chapters with. Because when those spoilers and those scans leak, I know it's easy to get caught up in the waves on the street digitally. It's easy to get swept away with like, oh, they're not gonna do this, you know. Let the darkest day come. Let things get dark. Let them try to have some fun, because I don't know if you've ever had bad things happening all over the place in your life, but I'm sure there were at least a couple times when you were like, man, I got to go to work. I got to go to school. I got to go to X, Y, or Z. And you're like, this shit is about to suck. And you know what you did that day? Because you couldn't avoid that. Maybe you snuck 30 minutes in on the video games. Maybe you and your older brother went in the back room and played No Mercy on the N64 because you didn't want to be around all the people smoking anyway. Mello, nobody's supporting today. SMH. Just want to say I'm concerned about what Disney might do with Daredevil. Oh God.
Listen. We want to end this stream on a positive note. I got enough darkness coming for the kids, man. I don't want to think about real life. All right.
Look, and maybe, man, don't expect to get a Daredevil hallway fight out of the MCU. Just don't. I'm gonna tell you that now. Because like what this is how they would do it. Block, ankle, knee shot, head shot, person behind him steps. You hear a trigger. Oh, access the Daredevil vision. Because you got to make sure you throw in those cool effects. So yeah. Oh yeah.
He can't keep getting away with this. He can't.
Oh yeah.
Stop it. You mouse. You stupid rat.
If you vote for me for the Manga of the Year stream on Roger Base's channel, I'll appreciate that, of course. You know, I'll gladly go down there and argue up or for or whatever for whatever series I can. But not likely, but I'll try to actually give you guys a top 5 this year. I meant to give you a top 5 list last year, and I've had a very busy year, really. So I'm gonna try to get you guys that at least the top 5 list, even if I'm not on the Manga of the Year stream. And I'm sure there's a certain sect of you that would actually prefer me to just give you a top 5 my Manga of the Year video than to be on that stream, because you care more about that than the other. So, though I'm sure a good chunk of you would rather watch that stream.
Yeah. How is Bala wrong twice in a row? That's crazy.
What?
So
JJ's Bala, baby, by the way.
Oh.
So I don't know how he's wrong twice in a row, but you know.
So yeah, like I don't expect. So at least One Piece this year was better than last year. So that, but in general, also, I loved the memes that came out of One Piece this week because
Is that how
Zoro fans don't read. Zoro fans don't read. But yeah, no more arguing about whether or not it's a magic sword now, huh? Yeah. How many swords you see twerking the fucking music?
Chicken ass on my thighs. Ain't so many chicken ass.
Shoot. And out here twerking, and y'all said it wasn't a magic sword. I'm sick.
Why the fuck you in the club in the first place?
But yeah, no, this is Calm Before the Storm. And the fact that some of these international heroes are so livid could actually lead to what would make me really happy is multiple unsanctioned missions and several of them getting mulched. So that's how I kind of look at that. Like if we get that, because then the kids would likely end up having to travel the world, partially feeling like they need to make up for the fact that they didn't stop shit from going left in Japan. So that's just, we've seen that they've already got that survivor's guilt going. You've seen that Mineta was already like, because when Mineta was like, did we make everything worse? That was an early manifestation of survivor's guilt. That was him effectively saying, we stood in the way, we tried to make this happen, we did a raid, I'm okay. We got saved by Majestic. There's about to be thousands upon thousands of people who are not going to be saved by Majestic. Mr. Andrew, dear Hori, please don't do anything next chapter to make me upset. Please remember your audience can't read. Only actions we need are mouths moving via spoon feeding.
That was a good one, Andrew. That was a good one.
Right. Like, well, and that's the thing is that thanks to Skeptic, there will be people saying no more international heroes, even though she came on her own. I refuse to believe that Skeptic did not watch that shit go down.
Oh God, that nigga knew. That nigga got inner side. He got a fucking satellite in the sky, bro. He knew. Oh God,
no, the government was like, we gonna have people wanting their tax dollars back if we pay for this shit. That's what the government was actually thinking.
Hey, somebody said something earlier in the stream a long time ago. I don't know if it was in the first one or the second one, but shout outs to you, whoever you are, that said kind of glad no more international heroes came, because people have been crying at Horikoshi. She just made them background characters to die. Somebody said that earlier in the stream, and you about damn right. Cause we got about 15 new niggas with raw designs and quirks, and all they amounted to was the same shit that happened to Star Strike, which inevitably they would amount to that. Maybe 2 or 3 of them survive. They would all amount to the same thing as Star Stripes, food. They wouldn't have been as gold as Cassie. Cassie the gold. There'd have been some background niggas just to die. And then y'all would be like, Turkey wasting more than time. I wanted my mommy milkers. Yeah. That's what y'all would have sounded like again. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can be the adult and take their wife who dying like Watkins can. That's what it means to be a real adult.
Yeah.
Welcome, Thomas. Hey.
Watkins cried and he saluted.
Yep.
He said it's a sad day for rain. And his tears, and he kept it pushing. Resting.
Look, people like to. Most of the time, when people say a character is wasted, what they really mean is, I just really like this character and wanted to see them more.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. And it was like I see some people like, oh, well, the only thing I got to say about her is just like, I would like to see more of her. I like to see her interact with Deku. Her Cole, she literally put a big ass page, last chapter, of why those niggas could not link up. Like that was spoon feeding 101 to you. Like I don't know how. Like Horko was there. Like, listen, I know y'all wanted these niggas to meet up, but let me tell you why. All for One even telling y'all through All for One. Let me tell y'all why these niggas could not link up. All for One himself said, "Hey, if these two work together, oh no. Like then if those two linked up, and then you want to use logic and be like, oh well, Stars and Stripes. Well, Cassie and Deku are together, so they could kind of beat Shigaraki. So I'm like, okay, you know what? That's a fair point. You know, that's logically. She dead though, so that's not gonna work. Like, those two niggas could not meet up. That was not gonna work for the story. And just same way that Quirk is going, it cannot. No, sir. So shout out to whoever said that. I don't know who said it. I can't remember their name, but yeah.
Oh, also, there's some old stuff that I'll probably make members only, just to make sure that if this channel ever does better, that it doesn't get deleted. So, like, there's some old controversial streams with controversial phrases, like, "Of course I don't want." Anyway, so only the real ones know about. Of course, I do not want that nigga to die. Now. With that being said, Watkins, let's hear your final thoughts on the chapter.
This is a good way to end off everything. I noticed a lot of people were confused about things like, oh, when did Shigaraki take the Nomu's quirk with the wings? When did he do that? I don't know. Just maybe along with reading better, learn to kind of just suspend your disbelief a little bit. And be like, okay, it was explained to me. There it is. Not, but when did it happen? Like, don't be so analytical. What else? Oh, I don't know if anybody's talked about it, but the fact that the vestige of New Order is just gone now, and New Order is just gone now. Just from little fights here and there in the vestige of All for One. I thought it was kind of cool to just kind of be like, okay, this is how we're gonna write it off. The quirk will be dying, quote unquote, kind of dying with Cassie or whatever. So that's all right. That's cool. She did her job. Salute, goodbye. You did your civil duty for everybody. Yeah, I mean, overall, we're just moving on to the next arc, and I'm here for it. I think next week will be more of a discussion on a lot of things, because then we'll be seeing like, okay, here's where we're going, here's what we're doing, here's what we're about to do, and everybody can take their guesses and get impatient, but overall, just enjoy the ride while it's here.
East.
All right. So basically, recently, I wanted to say something that Tyler. I wanted to track back something Tyler said. He said, realistically, having a week to prepare should make it obvious it's not going down as simple as people think. The war took 4 months of prep time. What was the lines they had? Oh, we got everything planned out. oh, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. If I made it seem, what that bitch at bird say? Oh, if I made it seem easy, like sending out the codes, it wasn't easy, but we got y'all now. What did Headshot say? We won't let a mouse escape. Ain't you see the state of Japan now? Okay then, it's like stop getting fooled. I guess when y'all gonna get fooled again too, because Horikoshi gonna like fool, get dang a little glimmer of hope again, and y'all gonna be like, oh my god, kids got some suits on, some like upgraded suits or this, that, and the other, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, okay, they're like they want to flex a little bit, they're looking good. It really is the final battle. And then when they get stomped out, then y'all gonna be like, we told y'all a long time ago how this goes, but y'all don't really want to pay attention. That's okay though. Hey man, love the chapter. Next thing, I think, don't think there's going to be a whole training arc or whatever. There's no really training. They already told y'all training in school not gonna help y'all no more. Us being like, Flinky go blam blam, Black Whip, like, no, we need to be in the streets. That's what gets us experience. They already said that. So what I think is, like Tarnish thing said, it'd be like if they go out and do Black Deku Part 2, Far From Home Part 2, Black Deku or whichever name you like, because it's not Villain Hunt. Whichever one you like, they do that. They start getting in the street a little bit. I say next chapter, they just like showcasing the perfection of their skills. Like, they're truly, there's not a whole training arc. They just like they did at chapter 256, like a little bit before the war, when it was like, all right, these are the new moves we learned and stuff like that. It's like you're gonna see people showing up their peaks of what they can do. So you're gonna be kind of hyping them up. And then expect some of the best chapters in the series to come out over the next course of the next 5, because it's gonna be Horikoshi's bread and butter, which would be character interactions and dialogues and payoffs. This will be a lot of this stuff, because this is what it's gonna set up is everybody having these last conversations, because they're not gonna have time to do it after the fact. So expect a lot of interactions between characters you want to see, especially be prepared for that Deku and All Might final talk type chapter, like kind of peaceful talk, because I don't know where All Might gonna die, if Deku gonna see it or not, but just prepare for some really good dialogue, and the kids probably just gonna flex up real quick. We got this, that, and the other. But listen, you see any jokes? Be happy, because when we really pop off, ain't gonna be no happiness no more. Let y'all know now. But hey man, solid 10 out of 10. Love to see it. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming, getting the views up. Like the stream. And Pounds is not here to tell you, so please like the stream. Appreciate y'all coming through. And Tanisha backed me up that it was the same person that did the soundtrack for Star Wars and Indiana Jones. So basically, that's my cop out. You can eat my ass. You know, it was still the wrong thing though, but you know, you can still eat my ass. I'm pulling my black card, ignorance out.
Yeah, we don't use that curse name. All right. Appreciate y'all coming through to both streams. Sorry for that random disconnect on the first one, but we out here, you know, it'll make the channel look more active as far as YouTube is concerned. Anyway, appreciate y'all. We'll be here next Sunday. Try to drop at least 2 more videos throughout this week. I'm going to try to get them done. East, I'm going to be sending you some stuff for thumbnails.
Okay, I'll be right on it.
We only doing one piece in MHA. If you want to do JJK, get inspired, I'll do one. But
all right, they got good shit I can use for the panels now, because you know I need good color stuff. I gotta like edit it out, so I got it this time. I seen those shits.
So yeah, all right, y'all. We appreciate you coming through. That's it from the crew. Also, I'm gonna watch One Piece 1000, but I'm really worried that it's gonna be everything I've seen about it has me thinking it's gonna be one of those. If you're a really nostalgic person, this is a great episode. But if you're not super nostalgic, you're gonna be frustrated.